it's most likely a tactic to let him come back. And then once he lands, they take him direct from Juba airport to either Blue House or to a house arrest. Yeah. So it's kind of a way of luring him to come back into the country. What do you think?
Yeah, as for me, I would say if this information was to be true, then I would say this is a trap to have him come back and arrest him. This is not the first time that Salva Kiir is doing that. He did it to Akol Kor. He fired him, gave him a new position, appointed him. Once this guy landed in the country, he revoked and appointed somebody else. Welcome to Jimosi podcast. So today there was a document that was circulating online stating that a group of or a selected number of elders from Warab state had been sent to Nairobi to go and talk with Nhial Deng Nhial so that he can come back to SPLM. And then after he's back to SPLM party, then he will be appointed as a vice president. The current position that is being held right now by Bol Mel.
I wanted to
and
ask,
in the process,
who's being kicked out?
Yeah, in the process, he's supposed to abandon his SSM party.
SSM.
Party. Okay. But then, once he abandoned his SSM party, join the SPLM, then he will be appointed as a
deputy chairperson.
As a vice president for the country.
Okay.
But when the elders told him that, based on that document, it is alleged that he had said no to that offer, that he is interested in being the deputy chairperson of the party, which is the SPLM. But there was a point of contention there because it is said that even Adut herself is interested in the same position of a deputy chairperson of the party, the SPLM. And Adut is also not interested in the position of a vice president. I don't know if you are able to read the whole document because I just paraphrase it so that other people can follow how it went. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the information we got. The information from the credible source within the SPLM IG has it that a team of elders from Warab has been selected and sent to Nairobi to negotiate with Honorable Nhial Deng Nhial to abandon his decision to form a movement and rejoin the SPLM. After that, he would be appointed as the vice president in place of Bol Mel. However, Nhial Deng declined an offer that he is not interested in working in the government. Nonetheless, he suggested that he would only accept to go back to the SPLM if he is appointed as the deputy chairman of the party, a position which is currently occupied by Bol Mel. Honorable Adut Salva Kiir also expressed her interest in the deputy chairman of the SPLM, deputy chairwoman or chairperson of the SPLM, which Nhial Deng is also interested in. Honorable Adut is interested to work in the party as the deputy chairperson. They kept on repeating chairman, but it's supposed to be chairperson.
Yes.
But she is not interested in the position of vice president, which is the same case with Honorable Nhial Deng. This is the deadlock which the team sent to negotiate with Nhial Deng in Nairobi has to make a breakthrough before any appointments to replace Bol Mel within the government and in the party are made. The negotiation between the SPLM and Honorable Nhial Deng was what led to the cancellation of decrees of yesterday, that is on November 3rd, 2025. They indicated October 3rd, but it's supposed to be November. The negotiation is still ongoing, and once it is finalized, the appointment of the vice president and the chairman to replace Bol Mel will be done. This is what is delaying the removal of Bol Mel.
Yeah, so apparently yesterday was when people were being fired on Monday. There was that delay of news, and where the SSBC themselves came out and say it is a technical delay. But apparently, according to a lot of people that thought they knew what was happening, is that Bol Mel was to be fired that day, but then this person, Nhial, did not agree to the position of a vice president. So that's why the whole thing was delayed, because they had to cross out that appointment so that these people don't read it anymore, because it's no longer valid. The person that was going to be appointed for that position is not interested in it. That's as per the rumors. If it is true or not, there's something we can debate at the end of this video, even regarding the legitimacy of the letter at the end of this video. But for now, let's just look at this letter the way it is. If it was true, the letter that we just read, would you recommend the comeback of Nhial Deng Nhial to SPLM party and abandon his SSSM, South Sudan Salvation Movement?
Personally, I would not recommend it because it's not like he's going to make any changes since he has already been in that party. And currently, since Adut is also allegedly seeking the position of a deputy chairperson within the party, that means that position cannot be given to Nhial. And that's what he allegedly wants. So if that's the case, he's just going to replace one of the vice presidents, then he's still not going to have enough powers to make any reforms within the SPLM. And also, I find it kind of difficult for someone within the government to make any reforms, especially to an existing political party. But if you are an opposition, then at least you have bargaining powers, such that you say, if you don't do A, B, C, D, then we cannot progress from step 1 to 2.
Then you make changes to the government and the system itself, but not to the party.
Yes. Yeah,
because
but
it's
like
not your party.
But given that he is also kind of in between forming his own party and wanting to rejoin the SPLM, I feel like at the end of the day, even if he alleges that he doesn't want the position that he is currently being offered, he would kind of make his way back, because he's been out of government for so long, and who knows what's his motivation at the moment for starting SSSM.
Yeah, so as for me, if this letter was to be true, or the information was to be true, then I would not recommend Nhial Deng Nhial to come back to SPLM. And the reason I say so is because when he formed his vehicle for reform of the SPLM SSM was to make changes within SPLMs in terms of the policies. So abandoning a vehicle that was meant to make changes and join the government because a higher position is coming, for me, I will say no. You would have not achieved the reason why you even in the first place say that you were freezing your membership and forming something. Like, for him to come back, he should have some of the conditions that have to be met before joining the government. So he can say, from my SSSM, these were some of the policies or the changes that I really wanted to happen within the SPLM. So all these changes have to happen before I join the SPLM. If they have not happened, then there's no legitimate reason of abandoning the SSM. So if it was just to come back with no changes to policies, no reform within the party, then I would say no, I would not recommend him to come back. But if the SPLM party was to accept, make all the reforms that were outlined in the SSM, then there's no need of SSM again. He can now abandon it and join. But just to join because of the position, I will not recommend him to do that.
Yeah, it makes sense, because if you don't achieve the objectives of you leaving the party, then it's kind of going to prove some of the allegations that some of us have heard, right? That this move was not really an indication that he wants any reforms, but instead he's kind of trying to bargain for his own position within the government. So if he can make, it's like cloud chasing in quotes. So if you can cause some sort of drama and then you get your bargaining power there, then he's able to come back into the position of power. Then whatever reforms he wanted to do, he cannot. Because at the end of the day, how old is he? He's already 73. So how much time does he still have left? Yeah. And what is he going to do, let's say, within the next 10 years? Even if he comes back to the government, there's nothing much that he can do, right?
Yeah.
If he has not been able to do it since for the last over 50 years, because I believe he joined the politics and stuff long time ago then.
Yeah, so my second question is, why do you think is the reason why both Adut and Nhial Deng Nhial are not interested in the position of a vice president? What do you think?
But go for the deputy chairperson.
No, leave that one apart.
Okay.
Why they are not interested in the position of a vice president? The second part is a separate question.
Okay. I think it doesn't really hold any power per se. Yeah. Because as much as you are kind of overseeing a number of ministries, you don't have any real power in terms of making any reforms or influence on policies and stuff. Yeah. So it's like you're just going to be a second or third wheel. Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, the reason why I think both Nhial and Adut are not interested in the position of vice president is because one, it is a temporary position. This position is supposed to end at the end of a transitional period because there are other 5 vice presidents and we cannot have 5 vice presidents into the future.
Yeah.
So at some point at the end of transitional period, all of them have to go and then someone will have to be a vice president.
Or a deputy president
or a deputy president. So for that reason, nobody want to be in a temporary position that anytime soon, which is likely, or as people say, 2026 there will be election. You don't want to be in that position only for a year. And then also, it doesn't give you any powers because there are so many of you holding the same powers, like 5 of you. You are not important. It's not like you are important.
There's no proper
compared to other people, but you people are too many. It's like too many position 2. So it's better to be a position 2 where there is only one position 1 and position 2 and 3. But if there's position 1 and so many position 2, then people will be competing who is actually the real position 2.
Oh yeah, that's like how back in school when people used to get the same grades, and then you'll find that you have number 1 and then you don't have number 5 and 6 because there's a couple of people who have gotten
the same mark, so they have to be
3.
rearranged based on the alphabetical orders of their names.
Yes.
So you see that, so that's why it's not interested in that. That's why both of them are not interested in that position.
Yeah, but what if you say, like, given the kind of politics we have in Africa, right? It's very difficult, or let's say it's kind of almost impossible for an incumbent government to lose in elections. So that means if any of you becomes the vice president, but within the SPLM party, then chances of you becoming the running mate to whoever that will be the candidate for the SPLM party will be very high, right? And you can continue becoming either the vice president or deputy president after elections.
Yeah, so that question is coming.
Okay.
That's why I'm going to ask you, maybe you'll try to tie it together and see if it will fit in.
Okay.
So my next question is, why do you think Adut and Nhial are so interested in the position of a deputy chairperson for the SPLM party?
Okay, so
based on the letter.
Yeah, I think like based on the information we just read, the reason why both of them are allegedly interested in becoming the deputy chairperson is because after President Kiir or after the chairperson of the SPLM, the next person in line would be the deputy chairperson. So in case they go for election, then most likely you're going to be the running mate. And chances of you winning the elections as the SPLM party are very high because of what we've seen happening around different African countries or within East Africa, if we may say. So that means you're going to retain your powers, and even if they do away with all these other positions of vice presidents, you can remain as the only vice president following the elections. Or if they change it from vice president to deputy president, then you become the deputy. And in case something happens to the president, God forbid, if he dies, becomes incapacitated, then you automatically become the president. Or another reason would be if President Kiir doesn't want to vie for elections in the coming general elections, then whoever will be the current deputy president or the deputy, chairperson would have higher chances of being made the chairperson of the party. Yeah, and then you already have an automatic ticket of vying for elections as the presidential candidate for the SPLM Political Party.
Yes. Yeah, so as for me, the same reasoning, the reason why these people are so interested with the position of a deputy chairperson is because as per the 2018 peace agreement, as much as the other vice president, so long as the president comes from the SPLM party, if anything was to happen to him, incapacitation, natural calamities, then the deputy chairperson of that party become the president.
True.
So for that reason, being a deputy chairperson of the party automatically make you the next president. And for that reason, that's why. And then also, vice president position being temporary, that means nobody want to take on a position that's temporary that will come to an end next year if election will be held in 2026.
True.
So you want to be on the party side so that when people are going for election, you are either a deputy chairperson for the party or if SPLM make reform within the party to the point that not only the chairman will be a presidential candidate, but any other person can vie for the presidential candidate within the SPLM, then you, because you are a deputy chairperson of the party, so you hold a little bit of power relative to the president too. So when that time comes and people are voting, then people might vote for you to be the presidential candidate. And then also, as we have seen, the president has been making a frequent visit to UAE and people have been doing a lot of speculation. So people are like, okay, God might be in the process of bringing an opportunity here. This is just a speculation. Nobody knows what's happening.
Saying that God is about to call him.
So people are just trying to make sure that they are close to a point that will make them president as soon as possible.
True.
But again, is Adut even an SPLM party or by the virtue of an SPLM party member?
Most likely.
Or by the virtue of being a presidential envoy, you become a member?
By virtue of being President Kiir's daughter, obviously. You are more likely to support the political party that your father or mother belongs to, right?
Oh, the party that they belong to, not their party. Because I wanted to ask you if SPLM belonged to Salva Kiir.
No, it doesn't belong to Kiir. Yeah. Like, even if we go back to history, we'll find that he was, at some point he became among the highest ranking politicians within the military. But in terms of founders, he was
not among the top. Okay, we can leave it for debate. And the last question before we have general discussion about the topic is, do you think this is a trap to arrest Nhial Deng Nhial? This issue of like, abandon your SSM, come back as a vice president or whatever, the deputy, whatever, chairperson that is thinking of as of now. Do you feel like this is a trap to come and arrest him? and put him somewhere.
90% a trap. Because if you remember during the last interview that he had with Lakes Media and South Sudan Eagle Media, I believe, he mentioned that the reason he was asked why he formed or why he decided to defect or freeze his membership and announce of the forming of his movement, that is the South Sudan Salvation Movement, while outside the country, because at the time he was in London. Then he said that the reason as to why he could not form it, let's say within South Sudan, or why he had to leave South Sudan, is because he was afraid of his liberty, that his freedom of movement and stuff might be curtailed, because some people felt threatened by him in terms of leadership, and that other people used to see him as someone who can make a good leader. So that kind of instilled some fear within the SPLM as a party and the ruling political class, which is why he had to leave. Like he had to take himself to exile per se.
Yeah.
So that he doesn't end up in a position like Riek Machar. Because those people kind of had some follow-up questions and he said, yeah, I might have been arrested. So I could not think of doing this within the country. Now that he's being allegedly convinced to come back and be part of the government, it's most likely a tactic to let him come back. And then once he lands, they take him direct from Juba airport to either Blue House or to a house arrest. Yeah. So it's kind of a way of luring him to come back into the country. What do you think?
Yeah, as for me, I would say if this information was to be true, then I would say this is a trap to have him come back and arrest him. This is not the first time that Salva Kiir is doing that. He did it to Akolokor. He fired him, gave him a new position, appointed him. Once this guy landed in the country, he revoked and appointed somebody else.
Okay.
So what are the high chances if Salva Kiir was even to give in and say, okay, today I appoint you as a deputy chairperson of the SPLM. Come back. You learn, then it changes you tomorrow. So you see there. So that's why I feel like if this was to be actual truth, then yeah, this is a trap. And if I'm Nhial, I will not accept it. I will have to say policies have to be changed as per my demand from the SSSM before I come back. If those policies are not made, then yeah, you can let somebody be the deputy chair. You can give it to your daughter since she's interested. But again, yeah.
And also, like, if you look at that information, I kind of have my doubts because these delegates from Warab State.
Okay, now that you are going to that part, now let's look at the overall letter itself. Legitimacy of it. Do you think this letter that was being circulated or the information that was being shared on social media, do you think it is true?
I feel like it's just rumors. Yeah, it cannot be true because if I go back to what I just said a few minutes ago, that the delegates were being selected, people like representatives of Warab State or people generally from Warab State, which is where Nhial Deng Nhial comes from. And then they were sent to Nairobi to go and negotiate with him. Nhial, first of all, is not in Nairobi. He's currently in London. Unless he traveled to Nairobi, of which I doubt. Yes, because if he's in Nairobi and these people know that he's in Nairobi, then they can even kidnap him or abduct him and take him to Juba.
Yes.
Like what recently happened with Kizza Besigye when he had gone to Nairobi for personal activities and then he ended up being abducted by the Ugandan forces and he was deported back to Uganda. So the same thing could happen to Nhial if they happen to know that he's in Nairobi. Yeah, so for that reason, I don't really think this is true.
Yeah, so like you said, people going to meet him in Nairobi, he's not already in Nairobi. And if people are going to Nairobi so that just to make a phone call, they can make the same phone call in Juba. So why would they have to travel to Nairobi? So that clearly shows this information was not true from the beginning.
Fake news. Yeah.
Yes. Number two, Nhial himself knows that Salva Kiir does not listen to any other person, even the people that are close to him. So even him being given a position of a deputy chairperson will not make any changes in the SPLM because he will not listen to him. And like he said in one of the interviews that he did, he said that even those of James Waniga, Kwal Manyang, Awera Kut, senior SPLM members that were deputy chairperson and whatever, and secretary, they were all
first
fired.
Deputy, second deputy, like that.
Yeah, they were all fired with no consultation. So this simply means if he was to accept and forget who Salva Kiir is, then he come back to the government, to the government or to the country, then it's fired again, because it does not remove the powers of Salva Kiir firing you the position of a deputy chairperson.
Yes.
So it can still fire you.
Unless if you say terms and conditions apply. But
who listen?
Kiir is not known
once
to
he said he has removed you,
yeah.
The rest of the army just follow him. So if he say tomorrow and then he say no, as per the party does not happen, he'll just be singing that one alone while at Blue House. So for that reason, Nhial already know that, so he cannot fall into that easy trap.
Yeah.
And also, the idea that they brought in Adut, that Adut is so interested in a position of a deputy chairperson and such kind of things, I would feel like if Adut was interested in growing in the party itself, party ranking, she would first go into the vice president positions and then now be appointed so that there's some growth. And then her ranking will have to be, she will have to be an army, upgraded and get be a lieutenant general, something along those lines, for her to fit in within that space of deputy chairperson and that kind of things. But the fact that Adut has not been promoted in the military simply means that her chances of growing into the SPLM top leadership are slim. So her expressing her interest to be the deputy chairperson clearly shows that these two things are different.
But then she's a go-getter, right? Because if she came directly from being a private citizen, in quotes, because we all know, but she had a hand in the government.
It's her dad that make decision, right? So that's why she came to
the position of special presidential envoy for special programs.
Yeah, and another reason, the third one, before I get my train of thought, the reason why this letter is not legit is because of Bol Mel. As much as people are preaching around Bol Mel will be removed and such kind of things, I don't see this guy being removed.
Same.
It seems like he's the only person that President Kiir and maybe his family is the only person that he trusts outside his family.
Yes.
Because the way that he appointed this guy, the growth that this guy has gone through, and even promoted him to be a lieutenant general and push him to the national security, simply shows that he's grooming this guy to be something better than where he is today. So we'll not go ahead and remove him. As much as people spreading whatever that they want to do, to me, the way that I see him being appointed in almost any small thing, put Bol Mel, and small thing, put Bol Mel.
It's part of various
almost everything. Yeah. So that simply means this is somebody that's willing to work with. So Bol Mel being replaced by just a person that recently declared freezing his position and forming some vehicle to change the same party, I'll say no, this clearly shows it's not true because of the person picked to be changed. If it was any other vice president,
like Taban, although Taban, I don't think he's part of the SPLM.
Whatever. Like it can change Taban, but I don't think it want to change Taban. They will keep Taban just to show that the Nuer community are within the government.
Yes,
it can get rid one of those Apayan. And Nhial Deng Nhial one of those.
Nhial Deng Nhial is part of the former detainees, so she cannot be removed.
Well, the other person that was replaced with Apai, Josephine, is not a SPLM. That position was not for SPLM.
I think it was for SAU.
Yeah, it was
Josephine is SAU.
Yeah.
SSOA.
That position was for them. But is Josephine for SSOA now? Is she not for SPLM?
No, she's part of the South Sudan Opposition Alliance.
Oh, okay. I thought she has become part of the SPLM.
No, she's part of
by
the other
virtue of
political
submission.
party.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then people were complaining about her being part of that party and so many other things. There were so many allegations some time back. Yeah, and complaints regarding Josephine, but they really didn't go far. So I just searched about the founding members of SPLM, and this is what I found. The primary founder and first leader of the Sudan People's Liberation Movement, SPLM, was John Garang, who formed the movement in 1983. Other key founding members of the military wing, which is the SPLA, are prominent officers like Salva Kiir Mayardit, Samuel Abu John Kabas, William Yonbang, and Kerbino Kwanyenbol, father to Bolabuk. And then they said President Kiir is considered as a founding member who later became the president of South Sudan.
Yeah, so kind of thing.
So the other three were part of the military wing, that is the SPLA. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it for Jimosi podcast. Please, guys, if you think this letter is true, then let us know why. Nhial Deng Nhial and Adut are not interested in being a vice president, and a reason why they're interested in being the deputy chairperson of the party. And number three, if you would recommend Nhial Deng Nhial to abandon his political vehicle for change within SPLM, SSSM, to abandon it and join the SPLM, or if this whole thing is a trap, to arrest him, if you think it is true. If you think this whatever, the article, the letter, whatever that's being shared on social media is not true, then give us some of the reason why you think this information is not legitimate or is illegitimate.
Yes. And also, would you agree with with Nhial Deng Nhial joining the SPLM? And why?
Yes.
Or also, if Nhial was to accept that offer, what conditions would you want him to have to set for the acceptance of that offer? And also, what is your reaction to that in line with what he had recently put out, his allegations against the party, and some of the reasons that he gave for his defection, in quotes? If you have not subscribed,
please consider doing so. Let's go to 4,000.